Get results with effective conversations. Hello and welcome. I'm Rhonda Shortino, Markel Insurance Company's National Child Welfare Specialist. I'm one of the estimated 12 million former foster kids in the U.S. I've spent the last 25 years working to make foster children and their caregivers safe and creating strategies to keep their relationships whole. Markel, in collaboration with a wonderful team of expert volunteers, has created these videos to help you do the very difficult job of loving kids into wholeness. Every parent says at one time or another, I didn't sign up for this, but actually you did. We all did, and there isn't a job we'd rather have. But without the tools to do the job well, parenting can feel overwhelming. For all of us, raising kids is challenging, and raising kids who have been traumatized can be exceptionally so. Here's your first tip. Treat yourself well. Don't let the emotions of a situation cause you to be or do something that you might regret and that does not represent who you truly are. Always, always take a deep breath before you plunge into an interaction with a child in your care. You know how on an airplane they tell you in an emergency to put your oxygen mask on first before you help a child? This is so you have enough air to help them. It's the same thing with parenting. Treat yourself with kindness and respect, and your child will reap the benefits. To create the "you can do this" parenting strategies to handle the things you didn't sign up for videos, we consulted child welfare thought leaders from various disciplines and schools of thought. We interviewed child psychologists, foster parents, social workers, foster alumni, and child advocates. We asked about the situations that happen all too often with kids who have been traumatized. From all this rich information, we worked with a 3-time Oscar award-winning filmmaker to create the scenarios you'll see in these videos. The videos, which don't have to be watched in any particular order, cover the areas of bullying and how a parent can help their child defend against it.
Wow, that looks really painful.
I worked real hard not to let you know.
I didn't want to talk about it, not with you, maybe not with anyone.
And I really didn't want you to do anything. It would have made everything so much worse.
We can help you try and figure out how to handle these kinds of things.
This is about making good choices. If somebody's hurting you, it's important to let your mother and I know.
Sexually inappropriate behavior and how to speak to your child about it.
Whoa, child! Whoa, you almost knocked me over.
Teenage fashion designer.
Oh, this is really cool.
Nice.
Thanks, Uncle Walter.
Yes, but why don't we look at it where your parents are sitting?
No, it's okay. If I hold it like this, we'll both can see.
Jess, before you do that, why don't you help me in the kitchen? I could really use your help.
Stealing and how to help your child realize it's wrong.
Take my credit card without permission? Can you help me understand why you took it and used it to buy the concert tickets I already told you couldn't use it to buy?
I had to buy them before they sold out.
Alice.
I'm watching Billy Steiner all next week, and I'll have the money then.
But that doesn't mean that you have the right to take my card without asking me first.
Well, what if I asked you? You would have said no.
Sexting and social media and how to help your child understand the dangers.
So Dad and I were doing the dishes when this came in.
Hey, you went through my text.
Yes, and I know how upsetting that would be, but we're so very worried about your safety.
Safety.
And lots of people's lives are being completely ruined by it. These are between me and Alex. They're private. He loves me. Did Alex make you send these?
No, we're just having fun.
Drug use and how to communicate its dangers to your child's health and safety.
Something I need to talk to you about. Is this a good time, or should we wait till after dinner?
Am I in trouble?
There's something that you've done that's really bothering me. I need to discuss it with you.
Okay. Now it's fine, I guess.
Good. I was going through the wash, and I found your jeans on the floor, and I went through the pockets, and there you go.
Busted.
What can you do to help me trust you again?
Angry outbursts and how to help your child deal with their angry emotions.
Poor baby.
Why did you think pushing her off the swing was the best way for you to get your turn? When you're mad at people, you can't push them or hit them. Look at Isabel's chin. You don't want to hurt people like that, do you?
No.
What do you think you can do when people aren't being fair to you?
Each video begins with a common scenario and what happens when a parent reacts towards their child out of anger, rather than acting with a calm, well-thought-out approach. Next, we'll give you a peek into the private thoughts running through the minds of the parents and the kids involved. Then I'll share the wisdom and techniques we learned from the experts about how the situation might have been handled constructively. Finally, you'll see the scenario play out again, but this time using the techniques we've just shown you. The skills that you will acquire from watching these videos are easily transferable to many other situations you encounter in trying to raise kids. Using these skills, you can help to change the trajectory of the lives of the young people in your care and keep peace in your home. Before you move on to watch the individual videos, I want to share a few tips with you that apply to every parenting challenge. Relationship, relationship, relationship. People are far more willing to take correction and advice from people who they believe like them. As a parent, your job is not to fix the children who are in your care. Did you know that the root of the word discipline means to teach? Your job is to teach the children in your care how to acquire the skills that will allow them to have healthy, happy, productive, and safe lives. Keep in mind that you're not always going to be there for the children you care for. This is true for all the children in our lives. To do your job well and to teach your children effectively, you want to be able to model the behavior you want your children to use in every situation they encounter, to teach them critical thinking skills, and to guide them to make good choices. Parents are human. They're entitled to be angry, hurt, and to feel that their trust has been violated. However, to effectively parent our children, we must calm ourselves before approaching them, even if this means removing ourselves from them for a few minutes. Sometimes it's better to put a little space between the actions you want to correct and the actual correction. Taking this break will allow you to find the right way of conveying your thoughts. If the kid is aware they've done something inappropriate, creating this space also gives them a time to reflect on their actions. Of course, if your child or another child is in immediate danger of bodily harm because of your child's behavior, you must first ensure that everyone is safe before removing yourself. If you lose your temper when disciplining your child, you're deflecting attention from their actions and putting the attention on them as a person. A fundamental rule of parenting is to always make it clear that you care for your child as a person, and it's their actions that are disappointing you, not them. Children who have been traumatized often do not have emotional maturity. They can be and look one age chronologically, yet mentally and emotionally, they're much younger. When they're overwhelmed by their feelings, the areas of their brain that control rational behavior quit working. Reasoning goes out the window and the fight or flight triggers take hold. Many traumatized kids have no off switch for the adrenaline that floods their brains and causes the fight or flight response. And they're in a perpetual state of hormonal imbalance. Your goal should be to create a feeling in these children that they're safe, and they don't have to act to protect themselves when their feelings overwhelm them. In doing so, over time, you will actually be helping them to reset their internal off switch. Teaching a child not to use aggression to solve their problems while being aggressive toward the child is only going to serve to give them a double message, adding to their fear and frustration. When parenting a traumatized child, caregivers need to think about the literal meaning of their words and the facial expressions and the body language with which they're delivered. an angry tone of voice or expression, or even crossing your arms while speaking can result in the child imputing a very different meaning than what was intended. With traumatized children, timeouts, logical consequences, and rewards and punishments don't really work to heal the wounds that have led to their impulsive and defensive behaviors. Parenting a traumatized child requires different strategies to build trust and connection. This doesn't mean that you should allow children to hit, bite, or push other children or you, nor does it mean that you should be okay with them throwing a tantrum in public. It does mean that you have work to do to help to regulate the reasoning areas of the child's brain. In order to do that, you must first and always wait until both you and they are calm and the child feels safe and cared for by you. Then and only then can they process the lessons you want to teach. In every caregiver-kid relationship, building and maintaining trust is the key to a caregiver's success. Kids who have experienced trauma in their past don't automatically trust their caregivers. Trust has to be earned through patience, calm, collaboration, empowerment, and most of all, empathy on the part of the caregiver. Taking the actions described above will go a long way toward gaining the kid's trust, and in doing so, making the kid receptive to guidance and love. It's imperative that when teaching your child how to behave in a fashion that will help them achieve their goals, that you stress that safety is your #1 concern. The following techniques will help you teach the appropriate behaviors. Acknowledge the problem. Use I words to convey your reactions, such as, I feel like I can't trust you when I see you acting this way. Acknowledge their feelings without judgment, like, I can see how you would feel frustrated by your teacher's behavior toward you. Phrase every concern in terms of their safety, like, but I'm concerned that if you act out the way you did, that you might find yourself kicked out of school. I don't think that's what you're trying to achieve, is it? Learn to phrase questions in a way that doesn't attack or accuse, like, how do you think you could let your teacher know you're frustrated and still get what you want from her? In order to gain your child's trust and open their minds up to receiving your message, don't lecture. Instead, create an environment where your child is comfortable, engaging in a dialogue with you. They should feel free to bring you their questions. Keep in mind, children model the behavior they observe. When you use these techniques, your child will feel that they can trust you not to reject them because of their behavior, and they'll be more open to learning safe and constructive ways to express themselves. Kids become confused when their parents do not present a united front. When it comes to matters of setting limits or giving out consequences, effective parenting requires both parents to stay on the same page in front of their kids. When parents don't support each other, it undermines the kids' confidence in their parents' authority. Be careful not to create an environment where kids can pit you against each other and take the focus off their behavior and onto the controversy between the parents. This doesn't mean that you can't disagree with your co-parent. It merely means that as a parental unit, you need to resolve your differences when you're calm and outside of your kid's presence. Although a lot of the information in these videos is directed to parents of foster children and other children who have been traumatized, the same parenting techniques are the most effective to use when disciplining any child. For more information on the techniques used in this video and for downloadable cheat sheets, go to www.getresultswitheffectiveconversations.com. That's www.getresultswitheffectiveconversations.com. Although these scenarios end with the child accepting correction, that's not going to always be the case the very first time you practice these parenting skills. But with patience, practice, consistency, and time, you will get better results with these techniques. We are so grateful to the contributors to these videos. They include Greg and Mary Thompson, Markel Insurance Company, Connie Clendenin, MSW, Valley Teen Ranch, Dr. Karen Bergstrom, Safe Families for Children, Irene Clements, National Foster Parent Association, Corky Kinsvater, MSW, Talon Grief, CMHC, LPC, Mara Ziegler, MSW, Barbara Thatcher, MSW, Susan Hess, LCSW-IL, USC School of Social Work, and Nicholas Bruce, LMFT, Compassion LA.